Hey everyone, welcome back to another great episode of the Jujutsu Kaisen Watch Along Pod. This is actually the Jujutsu Kaisen wrap-up pod for season 1. So we're excited to get into just a quicker, shorter pod, about 20 minutes, something like that. We're gonna talk about what we loved about the season 1, what we didn't like about season 1, our favorite moments, all the best stuff that you guys know and love, and we're just here to enjoy that. I'm here with my always co-host on this anime podcast, DK.
And I'm here with Kevin Ketchum, the nerdy jock. And like he said, guys, thank you so much. You have been following us. You've been going on this journey with us. Our first time watching Jujutsu Kaisen Season 1. We've made it through. In our last episode, we talked about episode 24, Accomplices.
Right.
And as he said, this one, we're just going to give a rundown on all of Season 1, basically.
So basically, I just want to start with you, Dan, and ask you, what were your initial impressions of Jujutsu Kaisen?
Jujutsu Kaisen, final thoughts from me, DK.
Right.
I thought it had a very interesting hook at the beginning with establishing a ticking clock with Yuji, who is, he's going to die. They're going to execute him. And he's given this dilemma. Either you just die right now, or you can help us for a little bit, eat more fingers, and then eventually die. And he's like, well, I want to save as many people as I can because I promised my grandpa.
Right.
Therefore, I will die. I will go on this adventure or whatever. I thought that was a really interesting hook.
Right.
Overall, I'm not sure that the story really delivered on that hook.
Right.
I don't know if from start to finish that I even feel like he's in danger of dying anymore.
Right. It's just...
Yeah.
I agree with you there. I think it's hard to tell how long this runway is for this plane to really take off.
Yeah.
Because we don't really know exactly the extent of... Because the world is massive. And that's a really cool thing about it is... JJK, which I do appreciate, it's actually like a positive, it's a blessing and a curse. is that it's unconventional storytelling devices and how they plot the episodes.
Right.
Compared to typical shonen, it really doesn't. We're kind of, there's a big question mark everywhere. Like we don't know what's going to happen next, or is this little arc going to be important here, or what moment from this baseball episode is important to the next episode? Like maybe one whole episode, they had one line that was really the catalyst for something 4 episodes down the road. We don't know. So there could be a filler episode that's not really a filler, and there could be really big momentous occasions that really don't mean much. And so it's just, you get, because of the nature of the pacing and how the exposition goes in the show, it's really hard to kind of put a pin on my heart-to-heart feelings on the show.
I can't imagine watching this show week to week.
Right.
It's like by this point I would have completely forgotten about Junpei.
Right.
It's like we had the Junpei 4 episodes, and then we had the Todo 4 episodes,
right.
and then we had these episodes, and
right.
then it's like, and then there's all the other stuff that happened. I'm even forgetting about like the pre-Junpei stuff at this point, where there's just so many different things. Like it really. The story never really traveled in a way that was easy to follow.
Right.
It's kind of, the characters connect everything together, but there kind of is no plot.
Right. I mean, and I mean, that's important because how we did these episodes on the watch along, we started out doing 4 episodes at a time, right?
Right.
We're like, okay, let's just do an hour and a half, 2-hour pod, 4 episode chunks, and then go from there because we figured that would be a great way to digest this show. But the truth is, this show it's so random. It's a roller coaster, like I keep saying, up and down.
Right.
And you don't know where they're going to plot that. It just makes sense to do 1 episode per time.
That said, there is a lot to love about this show. I mean, like, I think that one thing that we both appreciate about shonen storytelling that is non-existent in Western storytelling is just the massive swings that they take.
Yeah.
Like huge swings.
That's what I do love. I was talking a little bit about Chainsaw Man off pod. We took a little break between this last pod. And I was just mentioning that, in shonen storytelling, they're just they can do anything. Like whatever your imagination can come up with, they can probably make a really interesting anime out of that.
Yeah. It's like, here's a super weird idea and we're just going to run with that.
Yeah. I mean, you can see, and we always talk about people's inspiration for things, but you can see a ton of Japanese RPG in this, a lot of role-playing games, a lot of board games like Dungeons and Dragons, kind of Magic the Gathering, just lots of power building, power scaling, but also just a lot of random stuff.
Yeah, I mean, this show definitely feels like the author has a lot of deep world building that he might, as I've said before, it might just be choice paradox, where it's like, well, what do I say at what time?
Right.
Like how do I get this information out in the best possible order? Because a lot of this stuff is cool. A lot of the techniques are cool. A lot of the characters are cool. And then simultaneously, sometimes it just feels like Calvin Ball, or it's just kind of like, well, it could just be literally anything. And I made a comment earlier in this episode where I made the chakra Naruto comparison, or maybe that was in the previous episode. I don't remember. Time is just a loop for me at this point. But and people I could hear like being like, well, cursed energy is like the uniting thing, but it's like it still just doesn't.
Right.
It just doesn't feel like it's the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, maybe this is a show that's just going to take a little bit of time to coalesce into like something solid.
Right.
You know, and like I've heard, we don't know anything about season 2. We've heard people say, "Hey, just hold out until season 2 because everything is going to be crazy."
Right.
And maybe everything we've said so far, we can throw all that out the window later on once we see it. But we haven't seen season 2 at all, so we have zero idea. We just know the Shibuya incident.
Which I believe is 5 episodes in. Because I did peek at the episode titles, and I was like, "Oh, episode 5 of season 2." Yeah, I peeked at the titles.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, they don't give away anything.
Okay, well, I didn't
episode
do that.
20. Episode 24 is called Accomplices. Okay, it's like, what is that giving away? So,
but I mean, overall, I think I'm excited to check out season 2 to see where the plot goes. What would you give? Okay, I got a couple of questions for you.
Sure.
What would you give for overall like grade score on this season of TV? Not like as a whole because we haven't seen ahead, but you're saying like of an anime, shonen anime. What would you give a grade for like JJK overall
for season 1?
Season 1,
B minus.
I'm right there with you. I'm a B minus. It's not. I don't think it's quite an A. I mean, the animation, we didn't talk about that in our recap yet. But that was amazing. I mean,
animation's an A plus.
Animation is A plus 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 ultra. I mean, it is superb. I mean, some fantastic fight sequences. I mean, we have the Mojito one we didn't really touch on yet. That was fantastic.
Yeah.
We have the Megumi Sukuna fight that went through multiple buildings early on in the season.
Yeah.
We have the fantastic opening episode 1 season at the high school.
We have Toto with his boogie woogie technique, switching with Yuji. Yeah, it was great.
That's an all-timer. I mean, that fight you're going to see on lists for the next 20 years online. Like
it was fantastic. The animation, even just in this episode, the pre-scoring, just for that simple conversation, it was just that level of detail. And I hope, I don't know when season 3 comes out as of the release of this pod, but I hope that the production schedule was a little bit easier on the animators because such talented people. And you just don't get this kind of stuff from Western animation, which has moved, it seems, almost exclusively towards rig animation.
Right.
Which like with X-Men 97 too. I mean, like so much of it, I think a lot of it was hand-drawn, but I think a lot of it was rig too. Because there were sequences that looked like you were just watching Archer, and stuff like that. So, I appreciate really good hand-drawn animation.
Love it. That's my favorite is hand-drawn.
I just hope they're getting paid enough. I just hope that they have a good quality of life because they certainly are producing like a quality thing.
Hell yeah.
I'll ask you a question now.
Yeah.
Your top 3 moments of the show.
Okay. I mean, it's easier to say number 1 first is definitely the Hanami Toto Yuji fight. I mean, I could watch those 2 episodes, like over and over and over. Definitely my favorite moment, like number 1 moment for sure. I love it, love it, love it. Probably in my top 10 to 15 anime fights of all time. And it was super short. I mean, it was superb. Every line, every action, all the dialogue was perfect with the action.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just, it blew my mind. And I've seen that fight 3 to 5, 6 times already. And I have other episodes I have to cover. So like the fact that I can just go back and plug that in and watch that again, it's like, it makes me very happy. That one was wonderful. I enjoyed... That's about it.
That's about it.
Yeah, just
in terms of your 3 favorite moments, you're like, yep, that's it.
I mean, I guess in the very beginning, the first couple episodes was kind of exciting. Like it was definitely a cool intro.
Yeah.
That fight sequence there. Are we talking about like fight sequences or just like
any moment?
Yeah. I guess the Mahito domain for me, that episode, like Junpei, I know you're a big Junpei guy. I don't really, Junpei's cool. He's dead. I don't care. Like, honestly, I have no feelings towards Junpei. But Nanami, I have a strong emotional connection to Nanami. So like the thought of him possibly dying from Mahito's hands inside his domain was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
And I mean, do I even have a third? Probably. What else? Is there any other big fights that we missed, that I missed, that were awesome? Not really. Yeah, I really enjoyed.
I think you hit it, like the beginning, the Nanami versus Mahito, and then Toto and Yuji versus.
I mean, those are
Hanami.
my big three, probably.
Okay.
And this last episode, I really, really enjoyed the Black Flash. It was at night, so it's a little harder to sometimes see what they're going for the animation, and because it was on the side of an overpass, it's like you can't really do all the really cool 3D animation techniques they're technically normally doing in this episode, because it was kind of on a 2D plane, because it's like cars are crossing and it's like this and this.
And Japanese roads are tinier than our roads.
So just by consequence of the setting, it was a lot harder to do that really cool 3D twist turn, Mappa animation that I know and love, but I thought it was beautiful.
Yeah.
And how about you? What's your top moment? Same thing or something different? Or
I would say moment number 3 would be the episode Boredom.
Right.
Loved it. Wasn't bored for a second. Second most beloved thing was all of Megumi's character building. I think they really hit a home run there. And number 1 moment in the whole season was Junpei's amazing monologue about the heart being the metabolism of the soul. I think sincerely, I think we're mostly on the same page. I love the first episode. Or the first couple of episodes setting everything up. It was a great hook. I loved it.
It's like, okay, I'm in.
Yeah. I loved, if I could just put every Toto moment into one like big stew, and it's like this is my favorite thing. Like every Toto moment was so
hilarious.
Great. Like even I think one of my favorites was just when he is like berating the Kyoto school, and he's like, I've long been disappointed by your taste in women and stuff like that. He's like, I'm gonna go do whatever I want to do, and if you tell me what to do, I'm gonna kill you.
He's great. I mean, Toto's great. I mean, we didn't really talk about the characters, because a lot of them are a lot of fun and they're exciting. I mean, but they're. I mean, that's also kind of their biggest. JJK's biggest flaws right now are some lack of characters here or there. Some are overdeveloped, some are underdeveloped.
Right.
We don't really know their relationship wise, what they mean to each other, and what's going to be important going into the future. So I wish they would be a little bit up more there. But there's so many great moments that it's overall a B+. I mean, we didn't even mention Gojo and Hollow Purple, right? I mean, that was a cool fucking technique.
Or even Gojo versus Jogo.
Yeah, Gojo. That was actually sick.
Yeah, we forget about that. It was a great fight. It was fantastic.
That is up there too. Yeah.
I really you mentioned this. I did really like the Junpei arc just because it was you do really care about him. Like he's unjust injury, he's bullied, I'm
just like bullying Dan.
He is.
I'm like
he's bullying me live on YouTube. Yeah.
Dude, Junpei, may his soul rest in peace. Whatever, bro.
Because what I liked about it is that it made me care about this character. It set him up to be something in my mind that I thought he was going to be, like the juxtaposition of Yuji, where he was going to have Sukuna power, and they were just going to go off in different directions and have to oppose each other as friends, which is another theme that I love that runs through a lot of shonen storytelling. But the fact that they just kill him in the most unceremonious way, they just toss him aside and he's just dead like that. I was like, whoa. And that was also, and the other reason I love that arc is because that's where we get to meet Nanami. And
Nanami's super cool.
Great, yeah.
Nanami's super cool. You could cosplay as Nanami pretty easily too, actually.
Oh, I guess I could, yeah.
But I mean, speaking about the Junpei arc, that situation, like I think I never really saw Junpei as like, I think he's going to be an established character for the next seasons or whatever. Like I kind of assumed he was like a little flavor for a little bit, because I do think Junpei's arc was extremely important for Yuji more than anything. I saw a lot of growth through Yuji, through Junpei. I mean, I loved their relationship, how they became friends, and how you could see Yuji's heart and then also the hardships of doing the job he's going to do.
Right.
So I felt like, Junpei is really there more for Yuji, but I think it really did work for Yuji.
Yeah.
So that's how I kind of see that. But
overall, great arc. Not a great monologue.
yeah, terrible monologue, but overall good arc.
Yeah, I mean, there are some great characters. Like just a rundown. We've got Gojo, we've got Nanami, we've got Todo.
Yeah,
we've got
Yuji's a lot of fun.
Yuji's great. Inumaki, Mahito. I kind of waffle back and forth between them. Like I thought he was cool for a second. Weirdly, even though he was scary and powerful. Right. When it kind of, there's something about him that kind of took power away from him a little bit, where he's kind of, his laissez-faire attitude, and also the fact that we didn't get to see how he overcame Tengen's barriers was super weird.
Yeah, that was weird. I mean, you said Nanami, but you said Hanami?
Did I say?
I don't know. I love Hanami.
I think I meant Nanami.
Yeah,
Hanami's cool.
Hanami's a cool character too. Yeah. So even some of the bad guys, the special grade cursed spirits or above special grades.
Maki is fantastic.
Maki's a great character.
I would even say Nobara. Like, she's a great character.
She's definitely coming around at the end of the season.
Yeah.
She's finally getting a little time to shine, and she's actually shining through pretty strong.
Yeah, Miwa from Kyoto, great character. From
Kyoto. Yeah. I mean, they go on and on. So there's a lot of cool characters. I really like Panda. I don't think are you a big Panda guy? Not really, huh?
I'm okay with Panda.
He makes me laugh. Whatever. Yeah, he makes me happy.
I like him in the strolls more because he's like violent. Yeah, he's unpredictable. He's funny. He's got good bits. Like the fact that his wish is to punch a zebra someday. Like that to me is hilarious. But
I'm a big fan. But I mean, overall, what any final thoughts, or what are we going to do next?
I guess my overall thought is that I'm kind of glad to be done with JJK for a little bit. Okay. I think we might do 0. So
we're gonna do 0 at least.
Yeah. So we'll do 0, but I'm kind of glad to be done because it did sometimes, like even though I give the show a B-, even though I love so much about it, and even though I hesitate to criticize somebody else's writing, the flow of the show did several times really piss me off.
Right.
Where I wanted it to just go in a direction. I wanted it to build to something. And we still nothing has really been built to. Yeah. It's like an Etch-a-Sketch where it's like the second a nice drawing is made, it's like, oh, this is a cool thing that we weren't playing with before. It just gets shaken up and we just restart. Which I know people are like, well, anime does that a lot. And yes, it does, but not quite this many times in one season, especially when you're being teased with a continuous story. You're being teased with it. Like Cowboy Bebop, you expect it. It's like Cowboy Bebop, it's like a new villain every week. And then there's the running theme of Spike's life that we visit with like various episodes.
Okay, so here's for our final thoughts, final synopsis. I'm going to suggest that maybe you don't want to watch season 2, but I do want to go ahead and do season 2.
Okay.
I don't know about potting about it, but I think I want to just watch it. But I'm not gonna hold myself back doing the whole 4 episodes at a time thing like we did this time, which did kind of like hinder maybe the flow or maybe our enjoyment of it.
Yeah.
Because I think now that we can binge it, like why not binge it? So I'm gonna put it out there because everyone I've talked to says, okay, season 1 is enjoyable. If you didn't enjoy season 1 that much, it's like check out season 2 because that's where shit hits the fan.
Which is what I've heard too.
Yes, I say we don't have to pod about season 2. We should definitely do 0 first and just watch 2 at our own pace, whatever we want. And if we say, you know what, oh man, we're back on this train, let's jump back on and join the party.
Yeah.
And if not, we could also do something different and not even worry about it for a little bit.
Yeah, I might do that too. I might blitz season 2. I might watch it the way I would normally watch anime, which is just go, 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 go.
Gojo.
Yeah, Gojo. And if we really like it, if it catches us the way it seems to have caught everybody else, maybe we'll just do 1 hour long or like hour and change pod about all of season 2. We won't go episode by episode like we did with this one. We'll just give our impressions of it after we do Jujutsu Kaisen 0.
Yeah, but so I guess that's it for this episode.
Yeah. Thank you guys.
Thanks for tuning in.
So much for joining us for another full season of anime as we covered season 1 of Jujutsu Kaisen. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you are not watching on YouTube, please go over there and like and subscribe anyway.
Give us a watch, share it with your friends. Let us know and say, hey, man, these guys know a lot or these guys don't know trash.
Yeah.
Let them know. We don't care. Like, bring it on.
If you disagree too, like, you can let us know.
Yeah.
We're fine with that. A lot of you have disagreed pretty passionately, and I get it because this is the biggest thing in the world right now, Jujutsu Kaisen, and we've been pretty harsh on it at times.
Sometimes we've also been given it its flowers many times too, where we said, hey, this is top notch on a lot of different things. So I think we've just been pretty fair for our own opinions, but.
Right. But as we progress in this podcast, which is now covering anime, we're going to be covering a lot of stuff. We're going to hop back on DBZ at some point. Yes. But also, there are a lot of things that Kevin and I watched in the 90s and stuff like that, stuff from the 80s and the 90s and stuff like that were very formative to us. And we're going to be doing a lot of content about those things as well.
We're going to go retro. And you can call us old school because we're a little older, but it is what it is, man. I think we got the young cats, we're going to have to show you what's up because you guys haven't open your minds to all the stuff from the 90s and 80s that was fantastic.
You guys don't even know. I mean, you're lucky you're getting a Ranma remake pretty soon.
Yeah, great show.
But Ranma, that was a very formative anime in my childhood. So
it's great stuff there. But either way, stay tuned. We're going to have a lot of more great content coming out for you. It's going to be a surprise. But when it does come out, we're going to release a nice trailer for you guys so you'll know what we're going to do next. But definitely doing JJK Zero, the film. We're going to have a special guest on that episode as well, so stay tuned.
Who could it be?
I think you're going to really enjoy this one, guys.
Alrighty. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll see you later.
Next time. Peace. All right.
Boom.
Nice spot.